What's up, guys? My name's Captain Dave and welcome back to Mass Effect 3, where last time we left off we went down to Horizon to find out the Sanctuary wasn't all it was cracked up to be. Their big safe haven from the Reapers and from the war turned out to be yet again another Cerberus trap, trying to do God knows what to everyone who went there, turning them into husks, indoctrinating him, the whole lot in their bid to find out how to control the Reapers. But we shut that thing down, and in the process we managed to save Miranda and her sister Oriana at the same time, and I guess it's kind of like a thank you to us. Miranda was able to place a tracking device on Kai Lang as well, which just was a perfect little thing for her to do at the most perfect time, because things weren't exactly going our way, so that was a big win. That was definitely a win we needed in the win column. I think I said win one too many times then. Chewie, how's things? Yeah, you could learn a few things from Chewie. You sit there and think about what you just did, Bryson experiment. But I love that head. But anyway, before we go off and we find out where Kai Lang is and where Cerberus' main base of operations is, that we've got a few loose ends we need to tie up on the Citadel, a few more war assets we can get, and just basically tying up all the loose ends, because this mission with tracking down Cerberus and sticking it to Kai Lang and the elusive man, hopefully, is a kind of a point of no return. It's the equivalent of finding the Reaper IFF in Mass Effect 2, or going to Ilos in Mass Effect 1. It is very much the point of no return. So I suppose it was before Ilos in Mass Effect 1. So we definitely need to get to the Citadel first and tie up all loose ends. Well, saying that, since how we are heading to the Citadel, I don't see why not. This might as well be the prime opportunity to take Admiral Anderson up on his offer of letting Normandy and the crew enjoy, I think, a well-deserved bit of R&R. Because as you can see, the Reapers are really advancing. There is nothing else left to do but stuff in the Citadel, and this mission here with the elusive man is a point of no return. So if we are ever going to let the Normandy get some well-needed repairs and let the Normandy crew relax and just have a basic chill-out session, this is the only chance we're ever going to get to do it. So we don't want to go into the personal apartments yet. Let's tie up all the loose ends first, and then I think everyone can have a nice little relax before our final encounter with Cerberus.
You're cleared to dock, Normandy. Do you need ground transport?
I have no idea where I'm supposed to be going, so I'll make my own way.
I'll handle it.
Yes, Commander.
Okie pokey, so where was it we needed to head off to? Let's have a little look-see. Thina Nebula, Presidium Commons, and that was the embassies. So the embassies and the Presidium Commons, and I think that is it.
You're sure of what you saw?
Yes, Sergeant.
Heard from your brother since then?
No, Sergeant.
All right, Talavi. I'll see if I can get you fighting Reapers instead of Cerberus.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. You won't thank me so much when you're eye-deep in husks.
If I see anything while I'm at the Cerberus base, I'll let you know. Unless I kill somebody, then I won't let you know. So the odds are I probably won't be letting you know. I'm sorry for your loss, I guess. Anyway, let's go to the embassies first, because that's... As I've always said, the embassies is always the first port of call when you come to the Citadel. Everything seems to kick off there. And I mean, not so much now, because we've kind of, other than these last two things, we've pretty much wrapped everything up, so... But we might as well go here. End how we proceeded, I guess.
Now arriving at Presidium Embassy.
No, I know what I said. Divert forces to the new port.
Oh yeah, I forgot I've already talked to these people, haven't I? So no real need to talk to them really again. It's just a matter of them kind of repeating themselves at this point. My Turian friend. Oh wait, I just remembered. I need to go to the Spectre offices first, because I didn't pick up those codes when I was on the planet, did I? So, if memory serves me right, they should be available at my Spectre requisitions. Yes, Cerberus encryption codes. Yes, I have to drop 1,000 credits, but it doesn't exactly look like it's going to matter. Wow, I can actually afford the Paladin and the Black Widow. As good as the Paladin may be, I mean, I love everyone having the arc projector, so I don't know, I might buy the Black Widow for Garrus. But then saying that, he always uses the particle rifle anyway, so hey-oh. Transfer authorization. Private Talavia has requested. Oh, that's the girl we just heard talking about Cerberus just now. Has requested a transfer to a unit actively engaged against Reaper hostiles. A note from Sergeant Olembi says that Private Talavi is an exceptional engineer, recommending her for duty on a team set to sabotage Reaper processing centres. Spectre authorization will fast-track this request. Yes, of course. Last thing I'd want you to have to do is bad enough having to kill husks and other such abominations that Reapers have turned. Last thing you need to actually fight your brother while he is indeed still your brother. So I can feel your pain. I can feel your pain. Oh no. I totally forgot that when you do something like this, I don't know why, for some reason you have to leave the area and then come back in. Who knows why? I can assume it's the game's way of trolling me a little bit. It's trying to make me not go to that party. It's trying to hold me off enjoying myself for the rest of the Normandy crew. Hasn't Shepard done enough in the galaxy that he can at least enjoy himself for just a couple of hours with his Normandy crew before we all potentially get obliterated by the Reapers? Is it really too much to ask? Hell, look, he's wearing his snazzy leather jacket and his jeans and his smart shoes and everything. Granted, also, I wish I had actually... Space Pigeons. I wish I had downloaded... I think it's a weapon pack or an armor pack or something like that, which allows Shepard to wear the N7 hoodie. I would much prefer that, but... Where is this person I've got to be speaking to? Scientist is by the bank, so I've gone completely the wrong way. Trust me, it's just standard moves. When I'm somewhere I'm really looking forward to going, everything has to get in my way, or I go completely the wrong direction until I find my way there. Yeah, but I wish I kind of downloaded the stuff that allows Shepard to wear his N7 hoodie, but oh well.
I think I know which project you mean, and I've got a Hesperia period statue in Bay D24.
Commander Shepard, that's excellent news. I'll have it sent to that project right away. Thank you so much for your help. So, what were you able to pull from the inscriptions? Really? Excellent. I knew they'd find something.
Good. Right, that is everything down here. I don't think we've got anyone else really to talk to. Liara's there again, but I don't believe we have anything new to say to her. So, let's head back up to the embassies. Turn in this one last side quest, and it's party time. Elcor? As cool as you... Yes, embassy clerk, we know your story. You're just repeating yourself now. As cool as that Elcor is, he's nowhere near as cool as Harrot. I'm so glad we got to meet Harrot again when we were helping out Arya to Loke.
Your intel, right? I found these encryption codes on a Cerberus engineer. I thought they might be helpful.
Cerberus ciphers. That's exactly what we've been looking for. Thank you, Commander.
Yeah, no, I've been searching high and low for trying to help you for a long time now.
Yes. Commander Shepard found some encryption algorithms. The team is expecting results soon now.
Good, good, good. And I'm glad he gave me some credit for it. I think it's the least I deserve after all this running around I've been doing. But anyway, that is everything on the Citadel done and dusted now. Oh yes, priority Cerberus and Citadel shore leave. Well, I think it is definitely time. I think the Normandy and its crew has definitely earned a bit of shore leave by now. Plus, the amount of people we see around the Citadel and Purgatory that have been that have been partying down and all that sort of stuff. I think we're allowed at least a slight break. And hell, even if we weren't, I've got to admit, this bit of DLC kind of just breaks the story up a bit. But for all of those of you who've never done this DLC before, it was originally released as one of the very last bits, the last DLC ever for Mass Effect 3. So most people played this once they'd already completed the game. Well, that is a lot of Asari stuck outside that door, except for that one that just phased through it. But yeah, it does kind of break up the story, but this is really the best point to do this DLC because we've encountered all the characters we're going to meet, so it's really the best point to do this. Oh, looks like we've got to return to the Normandy first, fair enough. I thought we were able to just get the rapid transport there, but it looks like it's not like Dr. Bryson's lab. We're going to have to go back to the Normandy and then re-enter the Citadel again. Fair enough, fair enough. Looks like I got changed into my snazzy gear too early. Alright, good, good. This is not that we've really done much, but let's give this one a little hard save just before we get into it. And let's go and party down. And yes, I can't believe I just said the words party down. It really is time we relax a little bit.
I've got Admiral Anderson on the QEC. Patching him through to you now.
Shepard.
Admiral, how are you holding up?
Day by day, Commander.
Yeah. Hackett sent me a message about this apartment.
I want you to have it. Take it off my hands.
Are you serious?
You need a place that's yours. Somewhere to recharge, clear your head. Kaylee wanted us to settle down there. Thing is, the longer I'm on Earth, the less I want to leave. And I want as few loose ends out there as possible. Like I said, you'd be doing me a favor.
What are you talking about? I can't accept this. I don't know, it is quite a lot, but I think I've deserved it. Cheers, Anderson. Thanks.
That's very generous.
It's practical. We need you in the best shape possible. Rested. Focused.
If you say so. Thank you.
And make yourself at home, damn it. It's yours now.
I'm sure I can manage.
Okay, good. Been meaning to do that for a while. I'll talk to you soon.
Be careful out there, Anderson.
You too, Shepard.
Explore the apartment. Well, don't mind if I do. Oh, Anderson's got a point. I mean, even everyone's been noticing, even Garrus pointed out that it looked like I had some wear and tear on me. I mean, Garrus and Palaven, Liara just losing Fessia. Everything happened with, like, the Geth and Rannoch and Tachanka and all that sort of stuff as well. I mean, and losing Morden, losing Thane. I think it's time we all needed to rest and take a load off a little bit. But before we do that, looks like we might have a little bit of story time with Admiral Anderson.
You never asked me about this, but my wife just called. My ex-wife. Nobody likes to talk about the toll that long months apart can have on military relationships. She wasn't military. She couldn't handle it. But it's not even about military and non-military, damn it. It's spaceflight. Spaceflight. Finding the mass relays, miracles of engineering. Human imagination rising to meet our desires. We pay a price for that curiosity, that drive. Our relationships suffer. People we love suffer. But that's reality. And it's worth the cost. I must have thought it was. I guess I still do. In the end, you just have to hope you made the right choices.
Well, I for one think you did make the right choice, because without Anderson, I've got a feeling there would be no Shepard. Not in the "I am your father" kind of way, but just in a training father-like figure kind of way. I personally have not actually gone around and listened to all these, so a lot of this is going to be new for me as well. So.
The Normandy? A brand new ship. My ship. You don't forget that moment. The first time you're standing there. The whole crew looking to you for direction. Unforgettable. I'd led men and women before that. Seen a lot of combat already. Always managed to find my way home in one piece. Do that a few times, you begin to think you know better than the next guy. Maybe you do, I don't know. But if you're lucky, really lucky, you find yourself on a good ship, in front of a good crew. A crew you can trust with your life. Gifted. Disciplined. Brave. All of them. Eager to set sail into the endless black ocean. I still remember my XO asking what my orders were. Shepard, I said. Let's see what we can find.
And Anderson, we found a lot. Stereo controls. Well, now, Anderson, this is not music I expected from you. Well, as much as I love the music, I don't think we'll really be able to hear Anderson's story time with it on. Maybe later, trust me, I will be flicking that music back on again later. Huh, it's part of Citadel's Shepard never really gets to see. We will be flicking that back on, but I think while we're having story time with Anderson, probably best we leave it off for now.
Embarrassing moments? I've got more of those than anyone will ever know. Only way to learn something. But if I had to pick one to share... I had just gotten promoted to N7. Full of myself. King of the castle. Found myself buying drinks for undesirables in some rundown bar in the wards. They toasted my recent promotion. Hell, they would have toasted Batarian slavers if it had got them more drinks. About the time my money ran out, my new friends turned on me. I was outnumbered. Things didn't look good. My plan to get out of there involved lots of punching. Well, that worked for a while. Then a table hit me. Or I fell down. When I came to, I saw a Solarian putting the rest of the troublemakers down. A Solarian? Moved like a damn cat, I swear. When everybody was out cold. Or running. He walked over and helped me up. N7, he asked. Yes, sir, I replied. He looked over my collection of unconscious friends, nodding. Not bad, human, he said. And he walked away. I had met my first Spectre. Learned an important lesson that day. No matter how good you think you are, there's always somebody quicker, faster, and a hell of a lot smarter than you just around the corner. That little lesson's kept me alive more than once since then.
Seems like good advice, Andian. Andian? Who the hell is Andian? I think you're one of those smarter people than me, Anderson, because I can't even say your name correctly. I wonder if that Slayer Inspector he met was John Dumbao, or wherever his name was, the one that was hunting Kasumi down. Be cool if it was.
No, it's fine. I got a few minutes. First contact war? Yeah. I was there. My first real combat. First for a lot of us. I remember one night early in the war, strapped to my seat as our transport approached the LZ. Everyone was dead silent. Just the sound of breathing. Good men. I trained with all of them. We were always joking and horsing around, but not this time. Just the rattle of the shuttle. And that heavy breathing. Everyone was thinking the same thing. We're off to fight alien invaders. Aliens. had to say something, keep the men relaxed. So I turned to the soldier beside me, Hendricks, I think, and asked him how his mother was doing. Fine, he said. Why? Because I heard your mama so ugly the Marines thought she was a Turian. Almost shot her. I got a few smiles. Then Hendricks turned to me and said, "Hell, Anderson, I heard it was a picture of your mama that started this goddamn war in the first place. Scared the Turians shitless." Everyone had a good laugh at that. And the boys fought great that night. Sometimes that's all it takes. A joke, a pat on the back. Just a little reminder that everything's gonna be okay.
It's quite interesting him saying that and being invaded by the aliens, being like meaning the Turians. I mean, I'd have to read the Codex entry because it's been a long time since. I don't think I've ever actually properly read it. But as far as I was aware, I think didn't we go through the mass relay and bump into the Turians? So technically, weren't we invaded? I don't know. I'd need to read the Codex entry. I don't believe it was the Turians that invaded Earth.
A few months ago, I had a chance to sit down with one of Earth's most decorated soldiers, Admiral David Anderson. He was kind enough to answer my questions and talk about his career. Today, the Admiral is on Earth, leading the defense of our home against the Reapers. We have no communication with him or any soldiers on Earth, but we can't forget what they're doing for us. Tonight's show is dedicated to all of the soldiers out there, fighting and dying to keep us safe. Admiral Anderson, today marks the 30th anniversary of the N7 program. Can you describe your first day of training in this now famous program?
The Interplanetary Combatives Training Program is all business from day one.
How so?
We're given basic gear, then separated and stranded on an asteroid with no nav data. The test ends when the last person runs out of oxygen.
Sounds daunting. What happens to the ones who run out of air first?
Out of the program. The best N7s can survive alone, but work together to survive even longer.
That's very impressive, Admiral. Deep space survival training. That has to be so difficult. All of it would take such strength of character. Well, just plain strength. But then you seem like a strong person.
I'm sorry. Is there a question in there?
Well, does the program make the man? Or do you think you were born for this?
It's a bit of both, I suppose. Every soldier reaches a point in their career, sometimes more than once, when they are asked to give more than they ever thought they could. That moment is the test. I've seen men and women, almost sure to fail, persevere long past the point of breaking. That experience changes them. Others, with all the gifts and abilities, fail in that moment. Sometimes they pick themselves up and carry on. Sometimes they're just done.
What about you? What was your moment?
I've had a few. None of which I'd like to share. But, I think the toughest tests are still ahead of me.
What makes you say that?
Call it a hunch.
Soldier's intuition?
Something like that.
Do you trust your intuition? I mean, do you follow your heart over your mind?
Well, it depends on the day. No, I suppose if I were to be honest, I do trust my instincts. The problem is, war isn't orderly. And the enemy is never predictable. Even the most experienced veteran is going to find themselves in situations they haven't trained for. In those instances, and there's more than I'd like to admit, your instincts are the only thing keeping you alive. That, and the men and women you're fighting beside.
But soldiers are only as good as their leader, isn't that true?
Yeah. A good leader can make an okay squad great. A bad leader, well, war tends to make examples of them.
What makes a good leader, then?
A good leader is someone who values the life of his men over the success of the mission, but understands that sometimes the cost of failing a mission is higher than the cost of losing those men.
That's a terrible line to have to walk.
Yes, it is. But war is a terrible thing.
Thank you for your time, Admiral.
Thank you.
The remainder of this interview was to take a more personal look at Admiral Anderson's life. It wasn't finished when the Reapers invaded. We can only hope that the Admiral and the soldiers under his command survive to tell us the rest of their stories. I'm Khaleesa Al-Jilani. Thank you for watching.
And a lot of the things they were talking about there pertain exactly to Shepard and the stuff he's overcome. And I'm surprised at you, Anderson. Why didn't you finish that up with an Anderson punch? that's the reporter we always nut in the try and punch or headbutt in the face. Oh, I suppose you did punch Udina for us once. That's fair enough. And that beeping, by the way, isn't just you. It's annoying me as well.
What was I talking about? Early days, right? People ask why I joined the military. Everyone talks about honor, duty, sure. But that's never the whole truth. It's 100 little things that add up to commitment. I joined because of a dog. Yeah, a dog. This patchy, mean son of a bitch that used to bark at me every day on my way to school. He'd snarl and I'd start running. Scared the hell out of me. I was just a kid. I remember being in a bad mood one morning. Angry, I can't recall why. When that dog started in on me, I snapped. Started barking right back. We both kept at it until we had nothing left. Dog never bothered me again. Why'd I join the military? Sometimes you just gotta howl to make things right.
And I've done more than how to make things right. I went for the old shotgun up the butt routine. Catalogue. Oh yeah, this is where you can just kind of change around Anderson's apartment. But we've got nothing really to change at this exact moment. So, any more Anderson stories floating around here? A nice model of Normandy, a nice weird thing that looks like a bunch of shoes, or a giraffe. I can't really quite make that out what they what they are.
Sure, I can talk about Commander Shepard. Big topic. There's been a lot written about the Commander, but most of it isn't true. People are quick to judge. They don't know the whole story. I don't even know the whole story. But I know the man. Worked with him. Fought with him. Trust him with my life. Shepard's had some rough patches. Who of us hasn't? He's been forced to fight a lot of battles alone. God only knows how he got out of some of that. Makes your head spin. Thing is, you never heard a complaint. Never once got, no sir, I can't do that. He never hesitated. Few people know what Shepard's been through. I'd like to think I come pretty close. And I worry sometimes he forgets. There's a whole bunch of people who lose sleep over him getting back home. Maybe it doesn't need to be said. Maybe we're too dumb to say it. Soldiers like the Commander are rare. Men like Shepard, even more rare.
Well, thank you very much, Anderson. You never get tired about you never get tired of hearing good stuff said about yourself. No music. We don't need any music. Not just yet. Shepard, punch! If only you could actually punch that bag. The entire Citadel would just take place of me punching that bag. You'd have punching bag stories.
Okay. I have your new questions here. As a leader, do I ever feel that the end justify the means? Spirit of law over word of law. I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole, but I think I know what you're after. You're referring to the way I, arranged to have the Normandy released to Commander Shepard before the Battle of the Citadel. I'm not sure how valuable hindsight is to the military. Obviously, it worked out for the best. Without the Normandy and Commander Shepard free to do what they needed to do, what we needed them to do, Saren might have taken the Citadel. I think it's clear what a different galaxy this would be if that had happened. I did what I had to. If I had been wrong, I would have gladly accepted the repercussions. The real trick is never being wrong. If you're looking for more action and less philosophy in these notes, let me know.
Fair enough. I'm kind of wondering why Anderson scattered these all about his house. It's almost like he wanted me to go around looking for these. Well, Anderson, this place is nice, but you don't have a toilet that flushes. The Normandy does. Just pointing that out.
You asked me to talk about the SSV Normandy. The Normandy SR-1. As commander of the Tokyo, I was consulted on the Normandy's design and on board for her initial training exercises. The average person probably doesn't know that the Normandy was a joint project with the Taurians. Acting CO, Eli Xander, was no diplomat. She ran out of patience with Taurian posturing and politicking during construction. The chief architect of the Drive Corps, Octavio Tatum, and his team of Taurian engineers were in the CIC for final training exercises. Tempers flared when Xander pushed the limits of the stealth system, waiting to vent the IES well past what Tatum was comfortable with. I tried to calm the situation, but it still ended with the Taurian scientist in shackles and a human-Taurian fistfight at Korra's den later. Funny now, when I first laid eyes on the Normandy, she was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. Day after that training run, Admiral Wright found me on the bridge. She's yours, he said. Can't trust her to Xander. Send me a list of crew from the Tokyo you'd like, and prep for your first mission. Short command thanks to Saren. Still, one of the highlights of a long career.
Yeah, I bet it was. The original Normandy was a thing of beauty. Which, I gotta say, I kind of feel the same thing about that. I don't know why. Something about that painting I quite like. Bit scary in a way, kind of looks like a dragon, but something about that painting I quite liked. I've got to admit, Anderson, you have some swanky digs here. You got a tree inside your apartment. I don't understand why, but yeah, I mean you lost the Normandy, but I think it came out trumps by the end of it.
The Taurians. Well, I might not always see eye to eye with the politics and the individual, but I have a great respect for the Taurian military. Any Alliance soldier lucky enough to take part in their training programs will certainly be better for it. Their precision, skill, and discipline come together in a way that's second to none. Not that I'm faulting our own people or training. It's just that after fighting Taurians in the First Contact War, years later, I had the opportunity to observe and train on Palaven. It was a turning point for me, and I would encourage any soldier to try it. It's a unique experience to put yourself in the squad of a Taurian commander. My commander was an uncompromising bastard named Bartux Oryx. If you can find him, just ask how the platoon I commanded was trounced in his strategy game. Humbling. But I've used what I learned that day many times. The xenophobes will have their say. But I think it's vital that we do more of this kind of cross-species training. There you go. And if you do find General Oryx, let me know. I owe him money.
Let me guess, you weren't quite open to the idea of interspecies training, and that might be why you owe him money. Shepard seemed to get glued to the floor there, which was kind of odd. Yeah, I mean, you know what they say, different species and different ways of... Well, nobody's ever really said that, I guess. I'm guessing I'm just making stuff up, but different species are going to have different ways of training, different lives, different origins, all that sort of good stuff.
Okay, so... Tombstone data. Admiral David Edward Anderson. Not sure why anybody would be interested, but thanks for asking. I was born in London, June 8th, 2137. The last of 3 children born to Ursula and Paul Anderson. A nurse and a flight mechanic, respectively. But that's a little dry. And someone's gonna spice this up, right? Never been much for the spotlight. Anyway, where was I? It was a second marriage for my parents. They were almost 50 by the time they had me. My mother worked shifts, so my father would often take me to the base. While he worked, I watched transport ships and fighters take off. Worked his whole life around space travel, my father. But he never left Earth. Not for a day. He was a good man. But that's just a side note. Don't put that in. Who is it, Kaylee? Yes, I need to take that. I hope this is what you're after. I'll get to the more interesting N7 stuff next time.
Back when him and Kaylee Sanders were actually together. The more we're learning about Admiral Anderson, the more you know. It's funny that Shepard served under him all this time and he's only learning all this sort of stuff now. Got your very own armory inside the bedroom as well. You never know when someone's going to attack, and you might need to hold the line in the bathroom. Stereo control. Yep. I think this is all for Anderson's stories done now. Let's get a bit of music playing. Oh, I think this music's different from the one earlier. And let's go answer that message that we had on the answering machine. Hey Shepard, I've got a few things I wanted to go over with you. With the Normandy and Dry Dock, I figured we could meet up at that Ryushi place down on the wards. I hear it's the best at Joker. Hell, I suppose we've met up with everyone else and had dinner with them and talked to them and had a chat with them. Why not go meet Joker for a meal as well? See, everyone else gets their Normandy stories and all these side missions and stuff like that. Poor Joker never has. He's never brought any baggage to the Normandy. He's always just done his own thing. Everyone else has always had issues I've had to resolve. I think it's about time I spend a little bit of time with Joker. Oh, I mean, other than Tally and Garrus, he's the only one who's been there with me throughout all three games. And I've never had to recruit. He's just been there since day one. Kind of underappreciated there, aren't you, Joker?